Welcome, Voidlings. I am the expert of experts, the master of disaster, the one and only Void Seer, Sonoma Stroller, and that sounded really loud. So welcome. Today, Zatsudan, we are gonna be, well, by we, I mean I am gonna be talking about some of the, characters I've had in the past, including from Ho-Ho Fantasy, and even from before that, because, would you know, I used to do a fair amount of story writing back in the day. Despite what, Ho-Ho Fantasy's writing is like, yeah. So, you know what? What talking about Ho-Ho Fantasy, we can jump right into that, but first, I don't have all the artwork that I had in the past. Some of it I can't show because it's in, like, a sketchbook. Just know that, way back in the day, I used to draw a lot of Digimon. And by draw, I mean, I used to collect these, Digimon cards. I don't know if anyone remembers the, Digimon card game. But, way back when, there was a Digimon card game. I think it's still ongoing. Give me just a second, if you will. I think it's still ongoing, but they changed how it looks. Let me do this real quick. There we go. So yeah, but I used to draw based off of those cards, because, you know, try to do all the nitty-gritty details of, like, say, War Greymon or Machine Dramon or any of those guys. Good luck trying to do that from memory. Anywho, why don't we start with the Ho-Ho Fantasy characters? Let me make sure that I have it up. I do have it up. So, the first one. All of these arts are done by Align SM. I commissioned them to do all these art a few years ago. So these are not my artwork. Don't worry, we'll get to my artwork in a bit. We will get to my artwork. So why don't we start with Hope. So when I was making Ho-Ho Fantasy, and I'm pretty sure I explained this during Ho-Ho Fantasy, I was trying to think of ideas for what would be interesting for Ho-Ho, what they have not done yet, because we've had Western, we had, by Western I mean, European, and by European I mean more like, you know, England, kinda, or Romania, I guess, and we had Japanese. We never really had much outside of that, right? So I'm like, you know, what else have we not had? We haven't had anything from, like, Irish mythology or anything like that. And I kept thinking of things like that, like, and eventually my brain went to Greek. And I'm like, you know what? And this was all while trying to go to sleep. So, my brain does stuff while, when it's trying to sleep. But, way back when I was thinking about all of this, and I came upon Greek mythology, somehow my brain stopped on Pandora spots. How? I don't know. And I tried to come up with all these different characters for based on Pandora. And Hope here is one of the very first ones, actually. Because, you know, within the Pandora spots, there is a little glimmer of hope, if I recall something like that. And I'm like, you know what? I can run with that, and so I came up with the idea of Hope here. I did not come up with a design. I actually had help with all of the designs. I oversaw what the designs were going to be like, but other people came up with the designs. I came up with personalities and their abilities and stuff like that, but character designs, it was done by other people. This one was originally done by some guy, or some dude, one of those names, This was back during my Mugen days, actually, when I used to be in the Mugen community a lot. Hope here is one of the youngest out of the OCs for Ho-Ho Fantasy. I would like to do more with her, I just don't have, you know, I don't have any ideas what to do with her. Now, I say she's one of the youngest, she's high with the youngest with, Fate, which you'll see in a little bit, but they're still all adults. They are still all adults, despite, you know, how short Hope might be. If you're wondering, Hope's only 5'1". She's not very tall. And despite what you may have seen in Ho-Ho Fantasy, I love how this, I love how I have Street Fighter music playing right now. It's so unfitting. You know what? I'm gonna switch the music. Can I switch the music from Street Fighter? I'm switching the music from Street Fighter. This is so unfitting. This is so unfitting. I'm gonna switch over to we're gonna go to Ho-Ho music for now. We don't need Street Fighter music at the moment. Anyways, despite what you may have seen in Ho-Ho Fantasy, Hope's actually the weakest out of all the fragments of Pandora. She has no offensive capability whatsoever. She's all support. All support all day. Which makes her, you know, kinda not good to fight anyone else, like, ever. She does have a unique ability of, the more optimism or light she is around, the stronger her allies are. And the more pessimism or darkness she's around, the weaker her allies get. And by that's more affected by her, her own personality. Her own, feelings and stuff. So, that's something that you kinda got hinted at in, Ho-Ho Fantasy, but it's not really put into play. It's more put into play in, other things. Give me just a second, if you will. That's a surprise. Anyways, what was I thinking? But yeah, all of her abilities are either healing or support. No offensive capabilities. She is also a pacifist. She doesn't really like a fight. So there's that going against her with the whole Fragment of Pandora thing, because the whole thing about the Fragment of Pandora is they're all trying to murder each other and take each other's powers and all that. Considering she doesn't like fight and she has no offensive capabilities, she's usually one of the easiest ones to pick off for everyone else. Which is why she usually has others fight for her. But, you know, that also depends on what world they land up in and all of that. Anyways, that is Hope. I don't really have anything else to add to her. She's a very standard protagonist. She's supposed to be the main character, believe it or not. One of the things I do like about her design is I do like the staff, the little flower staff. It's very nice design. Add-on weapon design. I also like the way the hair is. Originally, it felt like a more emo look that she was gonna get, but I think this works nice for her. Originally, if this is a concept dropped in Ho-Ho Fantasy, it outright dropped for the fragments. Each fragment was supposed to have like some kind of mark of Pandora somewhere on them. Hope's was in her right eye, which is why that eye is covered up. So, there are little design choices here and there that allude to that, but ultimately it did not go into full play, and I would say don't ever expect that if you ever if you ever see Hope again, which hopefully we do at some point. Hopefully we do. So that is Hope. Let me switch out to the next character, which is going to be... Well, before we switch out, let me show you some of the other things for Hope. Do I have her original design? Her original design is somewhere. I just don't know where. It is somewhere. I'm gonna bring this. So over here, let me, I need you, not you, you. I need you to, not stretch the screen. Stretch the screen is not what I want. I want you to affect the screen. So over here we have an older design for, or a design document for Hope. We'll get Fate here in a little bit, but as you can see, a little bit different in design. A lot longer cloak, different skirt color. The thigh highs or the boots were not as triangular. Longer back skirt thing. I think that's actually supposed to be part of a cloak. But everything else is pretty much the same, and even some facial expressions. Which, I mean, it adds more to the character. I kind of want to do this with the other characters, just to see what people can come up with. Because some of them do, they don't all have the same facial expressions. Like, this is supposed to be, like, not amused. This is, like, surprised, sigh, happy, angry. I'm actually not sure what this one was supposed to be, honestly. I forget what that one is. Alright. I do believe that's all I have for Hope. I think. Do I have anything else for Hope? I do not have anything else for Hope. So let's go on to Fate. Fate, where are you? I don't know what the sprite is for Hope. She's somewhere. She is, in fact, somewhere. So, here is Fate. Let me fix this. There we go. So, if you're wondering, Fate is, in fact, the shortest out of all of the fragments. She's only 4'9". Hope doesn't have that much backstory to her compared to, like, Fate. Fate was the what was it? It's not the priestess of the temple. She was the Farseer. She was the one who could see the future and predict what was going to happen. And because of that power, she was basically, holed up in the temple that, she grew up in. And, you know, she didn't like that very much. She ended up becoming more of a, gremlin. Trying to pull pranks on everyone just to get out of the temple. So just go out and wander about. Which, you know, the temple guys didn't really like very much. But, she is also Hope's best friend. Her real name, is Lachesis. Lachesis, I believe is how it's said. Which is Greek for fate. Hope's real name, if you're wondering, was Elpis, which is Greek for hope. You'll notice a little trend here, but, I really wish I could have had a better name for Hope. But, the design you see here is not the design she had before she became, a fragment of Pandora. I do have that design, which I will show here in a little bit. I'll also show the one for Hope, which is a dummy design. But Fate, again, she can see in the future. She has foresight. She can also use elemental magic. She is the elemental person of the fragments. The pure elemental person. She doesn't have a single non-elemental thing in her kit. This includes also decreasing resistances to said elements. She will do that a lot. She's also very good at combining elements. She's basically like Patchouli from Ho-Ho, if you want a reference. She's kind of like Patchouli. Outside of her magic, she doesn't really have a whole lot going for her, though. So, she's not the strongest, but she's not the weakest. She's, like, third weakest. There's someone actually weaker than her. I mean, Hope's weaker, but there's one in between them that's considered weaker. I do love her design. Like, it's a very cute design for the character, and it's very fitting for oh, it was an oracle. That's what she was called, an oracle. For an oracle who's trying to travel, a traveling oracle who doesn't want to draw attention. Because, I mean, nobody's gonna bat an eye at her, right? She looks like a very common person who, you know, is gonna nuke the crap out of you with giant fireballs and tornadoes and stuff like that. So, and again, her personality is very gremlin. Anyone that's played Ho-Ho Fantasy, she usually ends up being their favorite character, somehow. Somehow, she ends up being their favorite character. Where is it? Here it is. There's that. So, the design she had, let me fix this. The design she has, well, I guess this works. Hello, Fate of Fate. You can see on the left over here is the design that she has when she is a fragment of Pandora. And the design over here is her original design. This is her look when she was the Oracle, when she was basically human. Some people have told me that she probably should be more covered up, but like, I don't know, I don't think it's that bad, is it? I do like the little, is that a Hiara? I think that's a Hiara, right? The little Hiara, I just like the outfit. The outfit looks really, really nice, and it fits an Oracle. It does fit an Oracle quite well. So yeah, you do see the sprite in Ho-Ho Fantasy, by the way. It is in a flashback, but you don't get to see it very well because it's usually in black and white. And with that, let me find Hope, and I will show you the dummy design for Hope. Where you at? Do I have it? There it is. So, whoa, hello. So as you can see, her design, this is her normal design. It doesn't actually change between becoming a fragment and before becoming a fragment. It's identical. Also, that's her same battle pose that's used for her, Ho-Ho Fantasy sprite. And over here is her dummy design, which was supposed to be used for when she actually has absorbed all the other fragments. So, originally there's a form for every single fragment, which is called a complete form, where they're basically just fully powered up. Wow, that actually is transparent. I did not know that the skirt was transparent. That's neat. I mean, it works. It fits the design. But yeah, this was supposed to be Hope's. It was a more adult version of her default design. It's a more, let's say, goddess design, because, you know, I mean, you know, I do like it. It fits very, very nicely. Do I know what they all do when they're fully powered up? Heck no! I do not, because that was a dummy design for them all. But it is a very nice design. I would like to use it more in the future. I'm still going to use the original design for Hope, but I do want to use this old design at some point. It would be very nice to use. And speaking of Fate, you know how Hope has a Ho-Ho Fantasy sprite? This is Fate. Fate actually did have a Ho-Ho Fantasy sprite. So this is what Fate's sprite was gonna be in Ho-Ho Fantasy if she was playable. So it is based off the Soku design. Ho-Ho Hisoku. Hope's is who? Chaos's is not. Chaos is based off another sprite. But, it's a very fitting sprite, and also very detailed for a sprite based off, Ho-Ho. It's, like, very, very detailed. Give me just a second. 1 second, if you will. Alright. But yeah. I kind of wish I could have gotten more sprites like this for her and all the others, just so if I wanted to make another game, I'd have all of their sprites. But I mean, spriting is a pain in the butt. Not gonna lie, it's a big pain in the butt. So we talked about Hope, we talked about Fate. Why don't we talk about where are you? Why don't we talk about Chaos? Why are you so tiny, Chaos? Go there, Chaos. So Chaos here, for those who don't know, is Hope's older sister. How much older? Well, I think if Hope was in her 20s, Chaos would be in her 30s. So she's a fair bit older than Hope. Now, I don't have exact ages for everyone because they're like millennia old. So, I mean, you know, if you're wondering why this design, A, is a more demonic design because her abilities involve manipulating the void. She is the original Void Seer before me. I guess you could call her that. No, I'm the original Void Seer. Come on now. But she is someone capable of using the void. She can also use space magic or manipulate space. So you know things like novas or stars or anything related to that. She could do that too. Fun fact. Hope, her weapon is that little staff. Fate, she doesn't have any weapons. Chaos, she does have a weapon, but you cannot actually see it. It's a formless weapon. If anyone knows Soul Calibur 2, and if anyone knows Necrig, you will know where this is going, because it's very similar to that. In fact, it's inspired by Necric's weapon. It's a formless weapon she can control whatever weapon she wants. So out of all of the fragments, she's the weapon master. She's good with basically any weapons. She's also not half bad with magic, but magic isn't her strong suit. Her physical strength is her strong suit, because she's a berserker. If you couldn't help by her design, before she became Chaos, she was kind of like a gladiator of sorts. Nobody would mess with her. Nobody would mess with Hope, because nobody wanted to mess with her or messing with Hope. She was very scary, but she's also got, you know, a soft side in her, because, you know, that's to be expected, right? Especially when it comes to, Hope. She's very brazen. She's very reckless. She does not give a crap about anything anyone says. She just does not care. If she doesn't like you, she's gonna murder you. And if she does like you, I don't know, she might still try to punch your face in. Also, fun fact, while Hope is 5'1", Chaos is 5'10". Chaos is a bit of a whole lady. Also, you may be wondering, do those tendrils do anything? The tendrils don't do anything. The tendrils are there for show, actually. Would be kinda interesting if they did do something, but they don't. They're just kinda there. I wonder if I have her original design. I have original designs somewhere. But not here, apparently. Also, I do have this artwork for Chaos. So, I do have this little artwork right here for Chaos. Which is like, I had this done a long time ago. Chaos, you're in my way. Get out of my way. Which, I mean, it showcases her, her fighting some of these soldiers. Presumably this is, from her own world. Because according to Ho-Ho Fantasy, which is not canon, by the way, I believe it was Hope that said that their original world eventually got destroyed by them. I can see, you can probably guess why that is. Chaos alone would have been enough to destroy everything. It's probably some of the soldiers that were from their original village. But you can see, you know, the void. The void! Behold the void! Behold this one soldier that is like half a body. He doesn't exist anymore. So that's Chaos. Let's talk about... No, I don't want that. Let's talk about Hate's favorite character. So Hate's favorite character is... Let me do this real quick. Hate's favorite character, where'd you go? It's this one, Gloom. If I recall, Gloom's like 5'5" or something like that. Gloom, by the way, Chaos's real name is Yiskel. That's how you're supposed to pronounce it, is Yiskel. That's not Greek. I couldn't find a Greek name, but I like Yiskel. Gloom's real name is, Xenia, which is Greek for gloom. She is a soul manipulator. She can manipulate souls. She kind of manipulates souls. There's 2 people that does that. She's better at it. She's also a, emotion manipulator. She could control people's emotions, make them feel whatever she wants them to feel, use it against them, etc., etc. She's considered a puppet master, because, with her soul abilities, which is different from another characters that we're gonna go into, she can copy a person outright. Basically create a mere copy of them. A soul copy that is exactly like them. They do not exhibit any, emotions. They don't have any personality, but combat-wise, they are identical to the original. Which you saw in Ho-Ho Fantasy. She did that with Hope. So she can do that to other fragments, which you would think would make her strong. She is the second weakest out of all the fragments. Chaos is one of the strongest, Hyper the strongest. Gloom is the second weakest. Mostly because outside of her soul copying abilities, she's not very strong. Her emotion manipulation does not work on any of the other fragments. So that kind of throws that ability out the window against the fragments. And her combat capabilities are kind of bad. She does not have close range capabilities. She's very good at long range, but she's not very strong. Let's just say she's not strong at all. Give me just a second, if you will. 1 second. Before she became Xenia, she was a homeless girl. That's something that in TF was shown. She does not change from that. She was originally homeless. She ended up at a temple that Fate was at, and she ended up becoming friends with Hope and Fate. So she would oftentimes go to the temple, and that's where she got fed a lot by Fate. And, eventually, when the whole thing with Pandora went down, this is still canon from Ho-Ho Fantasy. She's the one that ended up, closing the box. Before she got dragged into the box herself, she's the one that somehow managed to get the box closed. So ultimately, she's the one that stopped the Pandora's box from going out of control. But, she's kind of corrupted by Pandora. So everyone, all the fragments of Pandora, they are all corrupted, including Hope. Hope is corrupted by Pandora, but her corruption is so small that it doesn't really matter that much. It still drives her to a very small degree. So each of the fragments are named in such a way that they're a representation of Pandora herself. So Gloom is a representation of Pandora's gloom. Fate is a representation of Pandora's fate, etc., etc. Gloom is moderately corrupted. She's not fully corrupted like some of the others. Chaos is heavily corrupted. Fate is minorly corrupted. Just to get that out of the way. I do kind of have a design for Gloom's original look. I will show that in a little bit. I also have an alternate design for her, which I will show. Anyone know something called Midnight Bliss? That's what some of these alternate designs are used for, like Hopes and Fates. You saw those. Basically used for a Midnight Bliss, because I'm like, you know what? What would it look like for these characters, right? I do like Gloom's design, though. The little skull belt is an interesting little touch to her design. Like, I think one of the things I like the most about Gloom is her hair. I do love her hair. It's a very nice looking hair. Again, artwork done by Outline SM. You can see their signature down here. Again, this is also Hate's favorite character. Fate is Miko's favorite. My favorite is Hope. I do like Hope, but I also like Fate. I do like Fate's gremlin energy. Let me find it. Where is it? It is right here. Give me a second. 1 second. So here we have the alternate design for Gloom. Give me just a second if you will. Give me a second. Give me a second. So, this is the alternate design for Gloom. This is basically used for her Midnight Bliss. I do like how Outline handled the pose for the original. Also, you get to see just how long her hair really is. It's very, very long. It's a very long hair. And you can see just how she manipulates souls and emotions a little bit. And then you see her alternate design, which is more Gothic Lolita, I guess. And you really get to see how the hair is there. And I love it. I love how long the hair is. I love how beautiful looking the hair is. I just like the dress. The design overall is very fitting for her. I also love the little bonnet. The bonnet is so cute. It's such a cute design. It's also a little bit more form-fitting than that design over there. I think it's a little bit more form-fitting. Had Gloom not gotten this design over there, I would have went with that design over there for her default. Also, I'm not sure if those are the same boots or not. It might be, because you never see what her boots actually look like. So there's that with Gloom. I don't think I have the sprite. Oh, I have another artwork. So I have another Gloom artwork right here. Give me just a second if you will. Where is it? Hit the screen. Here's another one that was done by Outline. Why are you hiding me? Give me just a second if you will. 1 second. I need to take care of this real quick. There we go. Alright. So, again, this is supposed to be the Poltergeist ability. I do have some abilities that, or some artworks for some abilities. This is supposed to be for the Poltergeist ability that she has. A lot of the things she's supposed to do is relate to, like, status effects, by the way. There's another character that's better at status effects than her, but she mostly revolves around the weirder status effects. Poltergeist is kinda not one of those. It's just one of those things, well, I guess it tries to, like, scare people, I guess you could say. Very menacing, though. Very menacing. I do have other stuff for, Hope and Fate. Let me see if I can find Fates. Here's Fate. So Fate's over here. You're in my way, Fate. This is supposed to be, give me a second. It's cut off. Get the screen. Become smaller. Go over there. So this is supposed to be a, one of Fate's ability. It's a wind ability, which is called Sonic Slicer, which, as you can see, is just like Sonic Booms. Or, here's the thing about Fate. So, you see this is more like a Sonic Boom, right? Just like air currents that can slice through opponents, right? This could be used offensively as like Guile Sonic Booms, or defensively like a shield made of these little wind currents. She's very good at going between offense and defense with her ability. So something with like water, she could just make like a water barrier around herself, or she could just like throw like higher waves, things like that. So she can just, you know, alternate between offense and defense. And again, keep in mind, she can do multiple elements. When she's fully powered up, she's able to do many elements at the same time. So that's her thing. There's that. Let me see if I can find Hope. Hope is a little bit less impressive because there it is. Hope! So, this is supposed to be one of her healing abilities. I'm not sure what healing ability it is, in all honesty. Get the screen. You can see it from right now. But you can see, I think it's supposed to be one of her, quote-unquote, limit breaks. It's either Grand Paradise or, Lost Dream. I forget which one, but, it's a healing ability. Nothing too special, but you get to see, a little bit more of Hope. And yes, that is a sleeveless Hop. It's not the same. You can't really see it in her official art as well, but it is sleeveless. So that is all of that. Let me find Gloom. I think today's mostly going to be about the EF people. And this one is done by Ryo Suzuki. Let me find it. Another one for Gloom, which is this little piece right here, which is a piece to simulate the past and present. So, on the left is the present, and on the right is the past, so you actually get to see what Gloom does look like, before she became Gloom. So, you know, So, yeah, as you can see, she was homeless, as opposed to not homeless. I mean, she wasn't homeless there because, you know, she became a fragment of Pandora, but yeah, homeless Gloom is kinda sad, really. Sad Gloom. I think that's all I have for Gloom, though. I don't think I have anything else for Gloom. So that's Gloom. Let's take a look at Gaff. Who is the next one? Gaff! No. You will hit the screen. So, we have Gaff! As you can see, her dress is transparent. That is by design. Gaff is homeless. Gaff, I think, is like 6'1" or 6 foot even. She's the homeless out of them all. In terms of power, she is like in the middle. Her, Pestilence, and Fate are about the same strength. Fate's a little bit weaker than Death and Pestilence, but she's not a slouch. You can see that the scythe is kinda a little bit generic. We'll go over that in a little bit, because there is another design for the scythe, which actually shows what the scythe looks like. Death's real name, by the way, is Thana. Thana is Greek for death, and Thana is the feminine version of Thanatos, for those who don't know. Death is moderately corrupted by Pandora. She thinks she's doing her own thing. She thinks that she's trying to help her friends, when ultimately she's just being puppeted by Pandora. So everything she thinks she's doing is all by Pandora's will. So she thinks she's trying to help her friends. Ultimately, she's not. As you could guess by her name, she has manipulation over life and death, which is also manipulation of souls, which is different from Gloom's. Gloom is more emotion and, like, physical soul, where she can copy their souls. Death is literally soul. She's like, I'm just gonna take your soul and I'm just gonna destroy it, kind of soul manipulation. She doesn't really use that ability very much. Unless, you know, Pandora takes over. Then, you know, then bad things happen. One of the big things about all the fragments of Pandora is they all are fighting one another and trying to gain Pandora's full power, right? And this has happened many, many, many times. Chaos and Order are usually the ones that destroy everyone else. Death has actually won a few times over Chaos and Order. Fate has even won a couple times. Not very often, but Fate has been able to win. Not that it really matters, because Pandora just takes over and just resets everything, destroys the worlds they're in, and just resets everything as it is, because, you know, Pandora's a jerk. It is what Pandora does. Give me just a second. 1 second. There we go. Death was, before she became Death, the captain of the Royal Guard. I don't know if captain is the right word. Commander? She was the top of the Royal Guard. She's the one that commanded the Royal Guard, so I guess commander. She was the best of the best, and, she was, Order's, right-hand bodyguard. And Order ultimately, had Death become Pestilence's, bodyguard. And this is canon from Ho-Ho Fantasy, and this leads up to what happens in, their story. You will hear about this in, Pestilence's, spot here, but, Death killed some people for Pestilence to protect her, and they tried to run away from the temple together, and they ran into Order, and Order had to go to Pandora for protection. By that point, Order was already corrupted by Pandora. And in exchange for Pandora's protection, she gained control over both of them. They didn't know that she was going to take control of them both, but ultimately that's what happened. She did this Pestilence first. Death tried to fight Pandora. It didn't go very well for Death. And this was before the whole being sealed inside Pandora's box. I do love the design though. It fits a female Death, I think. It's not like super heavy Gaff, but it's still Gaff, you know. I like the purple. The purple and black works really well, and the blue works very well. You must wonder what is underneath that blue skirt, right? Right? Don't be your eye. Come on, don't be your eye. Also, the little headpiece. I don't know what that headpiece is called. Like, what do you call that headpiece? It's like a, it's something I link in like a, time mage, but I don't know what it's called. I have no idea. But yeah, Gaff is like moderately powerful. One of few of the, wars. Let me see if I can find some of the other stuff for Gaff. I have, here it is. Here's the, old design for the scythe. Where is it? Where is it? Get the screen. Thank you. So here is this artwork. I forgot who did this art. You can see the old design for the scythe here. It's more bone-esque and more energy-esque. I guess you can see what's underneath that skirt there. Never mind. You can see it's like swords of some kind. But yeah, you can see how the scythe is. It's like a multi-bladed bone scythe. Also, I like how the gauntlet is. The gauntlet's like very nice. This is a very nice piece for Gaff. I'm gonna show you where the original design for that scythe came from. Just note that this was an experimental thing. So you might get a little jump scared here. Hit the screen. So this was an early design for Gaff. Yeah, you can see how it's a little bit different from later versions of Gaff. But you can see where the scythe idea comes from. The scythe comes from this particular art. Gaff looks like a Barbie doll. It's like a 3-layer blade bone scythe. I would use this more, and I probably will use this more for Gaff later. Okay, go away, Barbie, Gaff. No more Barbie. Do I have anything else for Gaff? I do have another, another thing for Gaff. But we're gonna save that. Let us go to Pestilence. By the way, I don't have a Midnight Bliss for Gaff. I don't know what to do for her, Midnight Bliss. So, Pestilence. Pestilence is a little, sexy, let's say. And there's a reason for that. Hopefully, who doesn't get mad at me. So, Pestilence. So, here we have, Pestilence. I think she's 5'6". Manipulation of diseases. Wow! Who would have thought Pestilence can manipulate disease? Oh my goodness! Would have never guessed that. Real name is Callisto. Callisto is Greek for, Pestilence. She used to be the dancer / songstress for her country, land, whatever you want to call it. She was considered the most beautiful singer of the land. And because of this, every guy wanted to marry her, and she did not want that. And this leads into the whole Pandora thing, where she ended up at the temple that Fate and Order are, And ultimately, the soldiers there try to do bad things. Very, very yabai things. Very, very yabai things. Very yabai things. If you know what I mean, yeah. And so that's what Jeff killed them over. Jeff so happened to intervene at that time. And went from there. Jeff and Pestilence are friends. They are also friends with Order. Jeff and Pestilence are kind of acquainted with Chaos. We'll get that in a little bit. But Pestilence used to be one of the most kind-hearted, soft-spoken Psy people. She is the most corrupted, well, one of the most corrupted. She's like the second most corrupted fragment. Her personality basically did a 180. She ended up becoming sadistic. She ended up becoming spiteful, very narcissistic. She's not a very pleasant person to be around as Pestilence. By the way, that spear, I do not have an old design for the spear. There is supposed to be a different version of that spear. It just seems like, you know, a spear. But, you know, if Jeff has an old version of her weapon, who's to say Pestilence doesn't, right? Right. Give me just a second. So, she is highly dangerous, again, because of her ability to manipulate diseases. Her ability does not work on our fragments. Jeff's ability does not work on our fragments. You may notice a little bit of a theme here. Chaos's abilities kind of work on our fragments. She cannot send them to the void, though. Pestilence is, more of a melee fighter than you think she is. She's like a mix of a melee range, but she does like to go in for melee more than range. Jeff is also more of a range fighter. Jeff is more of a range fighter than Chaos is. Actually, that's not true. Chaos and Jeff are both high for the strongest melee fighters. Pestilence is like in between that. She's like in between melee and range out of everyone. She's still very strong though. I do like all the bandages. The bandages are a nice touch. What did she look like before she became Pestilence, you may wonder. Also, I felt like going with a bird design was a nice idea for Pestilence. So, if we look for Pestilence, where is it? Where is it? Here it is. I have found it. So, fit the screen. So, over here is the design you see for her when she's Pestilence. The little raven killer. I like her. I like the long hair, by the way. I forget what the flower is called. The flower is an actual flower. And over here is what she looked like before becoming Pestilence. The little songstress dancer design. Gee, I'm wondering why all the guys wanted to marry her all the time. You know, maybe it's because of what you're wearing. It's very revealing, lady. Have a little common courtesy. I say, you know, when you know, you look at some of the other designs for what they were before fragments. It's a nice little design for Pestilence. It's kind of similar to what she wears, but at the same time it's different enough. I do like it though. I do like it a lot. No! That is not what I wanted to do. Do I have anything else for pestilence? I do not have anything else for pestilence. Actually, I do have this. No. Oh, right! I actually forgot about some of these. I can show some of these sprites here. That is not the one. Where is it? Here we go. We can do that. We can do that. Get the screen. So some of the sprites I have here. So you only see these in like black and white. But you can see Dev's human design at the upper left. There's Order's at the upper right, which doesn't change that much. Okay, there's Gloom's down at the bottom. She has multiple colors, but you can see Gloom's human design there. I have one for Pestilence, I believe, which is completely different from when they were human. Do I not have Pestilence? Pestilence. Pestilence is somewhere. I don't know where it is. Pestilence has disappeared. Pestilence has logged out. That's... Oh, wait. Here it is. I found it. So here is Chaos and Pestilence. So you may notice Chaos is a little bit more, not Berserker-esque. And Pestilence is more fancier dress. So it kind of reminds me of a Dragon Quest princess with that little tiara. But, I mean, that's probably an old design that could be used for her, I suppose you could say. So that's Death, Pestilence, Chaos, Gloom, and... who was the other one? Hope. So, why don't we talk about one of the main antagonists for, the characters? Which is, say, is Order here. So, for the record, Order's also 5'10". She's the same height as Chaos. Her abilities are high-level magic. She's just like the mage. If you want a mage, this is your mage. She mages it up like nobody's business. She's stronger in magic than Fate. She's stronger in defensive abilities than Hope. Her defensive abilities involves putting shields around herself. And she has this staff axe thing. I don't know what to call it. It's like an axe staff. She's not physically strong. She's actually physically weak. She's also very bad physically for no reason. She's blind. If you cannot help by her eyes, she is physically blind. The way she sees, and this is what she gained from Pandora, is her eyesight depends on sound waves. So the more sounds there are, the more she can see. But she cannot see in vivid detail. It's like green lines. Like green outlines, green green details. It's like a sonar in a way. Something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. But if there's no sound, which is very, very hard for there to be no sound, she can't see. And that actually makes her freak out. Which makes her just start nuking everywhere. So, yeah, you can fight her by making there be no sound. But you're making things very dangerous by there being no sound. Her original name is Themis. Themis. That is Greek for order. She was losing her eyesight before she became a fragment, and before she met Pandora. Her eyesight was fading, which caused her a lot of distress as the High Priestess. And she also loved to read, which, I mean, is very hard to do when your eyesight's failing. And ultimately, she ran to Pandora, who would grant her, eyesight. In exchange for her physical eyesight, she would gain spiritual eyesight, as Pandora puts it. Of course, this was all a ploy for Pandora to corrupt her. And ultimately, Pandora used to orchestrate the whole events that led up to Pandora's box. She is very monotone. She tries to stay very static, very neutral, because her abilities depend entirely on her not exhibiting emotions. One of the events in Ho-Ho Fantasy, where she was trying to deal with Mystia, Huey, and all of them, and she ended up losing her temper, and ended up just nuking the entire force around her. That's what happens when she can't keep control of her emotions. Think of like Raven from Heat Heightens. I didn't make that connection. She's basically Raven from Heat Heightens. Has to keep her emotions under control 24/7. Her and Chaos, they fight each other a lot, and they're usually the last one standing. Fun fact, Order and Chaos are best friends. Before they became fragments, those two were best friends. How? Who knows? Because Chaos was so reckless, Order was the High Priestess, Chaos was a berserker, basically. Weird things have happened in life, right? Right. Give me just a second. 1 second, if you will. Yeah, we're not gonna get to my original art until next time, which is gonna be, gonna be a thing. Anything else about Order? I don't know what this little hat is. I forget what this hat's called. Also, she never wears shoes, which is hilarious. Like, I can't see anything, so why wear shoes? Order. This is one done by, Ryo Suzuki. Probably saying the name wrong. So, this is one of her abilities, which is called Boy Gate. You also get to see just how, well endowed she is, apparently. She can use books. She is a mage. She can use books. Fate can also use books, but, Fate usually just need books, and Order usually just use her staff. Boy Gate, she has some abilities with the boy. It's nothing like Chaos's, though. It's nothing like Chaos. That's really all I have for Order. So the last one we're gonna go to with the fragments is the main villain, or villainess, which is Pandora. Something might seem a little similar here, right? Just a little bit similar, right? If you were wondering where this came from, this is the Pandora's box. The one and the same. The exact same Pandora's box. And when you know it's actually a box here. Fun fact, it's not actually a box in mythology. I believe it's a jar. But we got the Pandora's box. I have it. I have to make sure that nobody gets it. But, you know, I mean, if you want to open it. Do you want to open it? Please. Go ahead. Open it. I beg of you. But, Pandora. She's like 5'8" or something. She's also relatively tall. I don't know why everyone's so tall. The fun thing about Pandora, I think her design is based on Greek, as you can tell. But her sprite design is based off of Magneto. It's got a very Magneto-esque vibe to it. I don't have the sprite on hand, but, you know, it fits. She's very cool and calculating. She believes everything should be under her own rule. Her own power. Her main goal, if you're wondering what her goal even is to erase all of existence and create under her own image, so that she becomes the god of that existence. You may have heard this from Order in Ho-Ho Fantasy. Order was going to try to recreate existence under one order. So, as Order is the most corrupted, as you can tell, Order is being used by Pandora the most. Her ideals are basically Pandora's ideals. Pandora also has the ability to corrupt others with her power, making them fragments of herself. If all of the fragments are gathered, and like that, I mean, they all have. If one of the fragments has all of their power, all the others' power, she can just take control of them herself and use them to just destroy everything around them. And then they get destroyed in the process. The thing about the fragments, they cannot actually fully die. When they die, they can be absorbed by the other fragments, but if they are not absorbed in a specific amount of time, they can revive. Or they end up back at Pandora's box. They do not age. They don't really need to eat. They can eat, but they don't really need to. And here's one that's going to make people raise an eyebrow. They cannot reproduce. It is impossible for any of them to do so. Basically because they're frozen in time. Their whole soul and body is frozen in time to right before they were corrupted. So, they can't, anything that's involved with time-related stuff, it doesn't apply to them. They can still be defeated, destroyed, you know, killed, so to speak, but, they can't fully die. So the whole thing with them is, they're trying to stop Pandora. Well, Hope is. Hope is the main protagonist. Fate usually helps Hope. The whole thing is stopping Pandora and being freed from Pandora. Which they've been trying to do for millennia, but because it's Pandora, it's very hard to get away from her control. Ultimately, what this results in is them waking up in different worlds, fighting in those worlds, ending up destroying the worlds, being put back into sleep until Pandora's box gets opened in another world, etc., etc. Do they ever defeat Pandora? Who's to say? I can't say. I'm the creator, yes, but I can't tell you if they defeat Pandora or not, or what happens when they do defeat Pandora. Also, I love the little spiral hair I don't know how you get your hair to be that way. That would be a pain in the butt to do. Do I have? I do have. So this was Pandora's original portrait. Before she had her official art, she had this portrait. You can see the art is right there. I can't tell who it is. But it's a very Greek-esque portrait. And this is what was her initial design. Very Greek. Very Greek. So that's all the fragments. Let me show you some of the stuff involving the fragments. Because I do have fun little artwork here and there for each of them. For example, this art done by Ryo Suzuki. I don't need my Pandora's box. So we have this little image for Death and Pestilence. Basically, two sides of the same coin. Fancy little artwork. It's kind of like, it basically is two sides of the same coin, really. Very lovely artwork. You can see, I forget what I was going to say. Gosh darn it, I hate when I forget what I'm going to say. Blech. It's a pain in the butt when that happens. There's that one. So a fun one is this little piece that was done by Aline. Just to give them a little more personality. It's this little piece. Just them at some bar, Hope enjoying a cup of tea, Gloom having a glass of water, and Fate and Chaos, you know, having a drink off. Because believe it or not, Chaos is a heavy drinker, but Fate's also a heavy drinker. Fate can challenge Chaos and drink off very easily. As you can see by how much they've drank, which is funny because Fate's only 4'9". Fate is like really short, but she can outmatch Chaos in drinking alcohol. Just a fun little detail with the fragments. Let me see if I can find something else. Where is it? It's not there. I am looking for not that. That's Gloom. Where are you hiking at? You're hiking somewhere. Where are you hiking at? It's past that. I got another one somewhere. You're just gonna have to give me a second. I need to find it. I need to find it. Where is it? Why can I not find it? Well, there's that, but, I'll show that later. Where the heck is it? And now, where did you go? Oi! Where you go, mate? You're gonna have to give me a second. I need to find this. Why can I not find it? Hello, where'd you go? Why can I not find you? You're somewhere. Just don't know where. Bruh. Where you at? I know I have you. Please. Please, where are you at? You're making me panic here. I know I have it. Oh, I know I have it. Well, there's that one, but that's not the one. Oh, there it is. It was down here. I'm a dumb butt. I'm dumb. Sometimes you just, you know, yeah. That is, you didn't click anything. So here we have Hope using her healing magic. This is also done by Ryo Suzuki. On a fox? Dog? Just a cute little piece. Just a cute little piece. Now, I got one more, so again we are gonna go to a non-Ho-Ho Fantasy character. Again, that'll be the last one for a day. There it is. I'll have to show some of my original art next time. So here, we have Hope and Fate. And you may be wondering, what's going on here? Well, as you can see, Fate's pulling a prank. This is the kind of pranks that Fate likes to do. You know, hey, you have an umbrella, shield yourself from the sunlight. Let me make it rain underneath that umbrella. She is that kind of prankster. She's very playful. She doesn't usually do pranks that, are harmful. But she will do pranks. A lot. And, she usually gets punished for it by, some of the other characters. So, usually. Because, you know, she's a little gremlin. Also, a nice little, interaction. And that's it for the Fragments of Pandora. Let's go to another character. Another original design. Which is someone that I made years ago. Back when I was in Fire Emblem. And I used to be in a Fire Emblem forum. Anyone knows Serene's Forest? I used to be there a lot. So here we have Siam. So Siam is a dragon lady. As you can guess, she was a monarchit for a Fire Emblem hack. Ultimately, she never got used, but I would like to do more with her. She's one of my favorite designs. I do like her design. She is even more of a pacifist than Hope is. What type of dragon lady is she? She's a dark dragon. She's a dark dragon that has, that is like the most kind-hearted, good-natured dark dragon that you will ever see. She's also an alchemist. Albeit not a very good alchemist, but, she can do alchemy. She can make you some elixirs and stuff, but, highly advanced stuff, she can't do that. Don't ask her to do it. She's only 5'4". And she lives in a desert oasis. That's what I have her set for, is a desert oasis. I don't know if that's where she's gonna stay. Because I never really worked on her story that much. The original idea was that there was a group of bandits that was after her Dragonstone in the Fire Emblem hack. So the group had to protect her from having her Dragonstone stolen. Originally, she was going to be a divine dragon. And then she was going to be a swamp drake. Because, ultimately, because she's a dark dragon, she got, ostracized by her, dragonkin. They didn't like the fact that she was a dark dragon, so they kind of booted her out of their society. Never mind that she never hurt a fly, never mind that, you know, she was the nicest person ever. They just booted her out because they're like, no, you're a dark dragon. We don't want dark dragons here. Which is funny because nobody knew that her father is a dark dragon. Her mother, we don't know what her mother was. Both of them died from a mysterious disease. And that's why she's trying to learn alchemy, is to try to cure that disease. She's not she's not affected by it, so she doesn't have to worry about the disease. But it's a disease that was killing off the dragonkin. That is all I have for her, really. She is physically strong. She does have draconian strength. She tries not to use it, though, which is a little bit of a problem sometimes, especially when she panics. Because she's very prone to panicking, you know? She does have fire breath. She does have a dark fire breath. Because, you know, she is a dark dragon. Where is it? There's a good one. Right here. So another art, this is also done by Ryo Suzuki. You can see how she's kind of haphazardly not paying attention to the flask that's breaking and dripping onto her. You know, she's gonna catch fire. Unaware of that at the moment. She doesn't really, she's kind of fire immune. But, I mean, her clothes are not fire immune. Also, notice she has a little pendant here. That is something that's not shown in her design. But she does, have a pendant from her mother. Also, Fate, going back to Fate, the little choker she has, that's also from her mother. And without her, if she doesn't have her choker, she freaks out. Siam doesn't really freak out like Fate does, but she does worry if she doesn't have it. There's that. She does like singing. She does like to sing. Is she a good singer? I don't know. Never really thought about that. So that's really all of that I have for Siam. Where is it? I have one more thing for Siam. Which is, if I can find it, where is it? There's one more thing for Siam. I just gotta find it. Where is it? I got one more thing. I just gotta find it. Where are you hiding? Why are you hiding from me? Please? Really? Come on now. I just saw it. I know I just saw it. Where did I see it? Where did I see it? There's that piece of art that I will show later. I am trying to find this piece that I just saw not too long ago. Where did it go? I just saw it not that long ago. Bruh. Where'd you go? Oh, there it is. I couldn't find it. Holy crap. So, if you're wondering what her dark dragon form looks like, it's this. Now, you may be wondering, what are those markings? She's bioluminescent. Which is very odd for a dark dragon to be bioluminescent. But, the markings on her wings, they do give off a glow. Same on her tail, same on the rest of her body. How does she change into a dark dragon? Don't know. I never really thought about that. Originally, it was a dragon stone. She might just be able to do that at will. Also, she's very long. She's a very long lizard girl. Lady thing. And And one more thing. I didn't show this with order. I'll show it with order here in a little bit. Here is a design based on... It's a Midnight Bliss design. But it is, what if you combine both forms and you get this? So over there at the left is normal Siam, and over here is Siam, if she was still her human form, mixed together with her dragon form. And honestly, I really like it. It's very, very, it's a very sexy design, I'm not gonna lie. But, it's a very fitting design for a dragon lady. And yes, she is still bioluminescent, even in this form. She is forever bioluminescent. And also, she's got quite the size of her, if you know what I mean. And one more, let me show off, Order. Order has one of these too. Where is it? I'm waiting. It's not gonna give it to me. Alright, let me look for another one. Let's go with this one. Is this the one I want? Yes, we'll go with that one. So we'll go with this one. So, this is another Midnight Bliss. This one's for Order, which is this design. I don't have the transparent one. So, you can see that her Bliss design is based off of her theoretical complete design, which is, say, a goddess design. Let me try to make this bigger, huh? So, you can see here, I would like to make this bigger. Can I make this bigger? I can't really make this bigger easily, can I? I cannot really make that bigger. She does have a little tail. Well, she doesn't have a tail like this one. One of the versions have a tail in it. Let me try to do this. Yeah. She's also... It's also more form-fitting than, her original design. So you can see she has this little thing. I don't know what to call this thing. It's like a goddess tiara thing. Very form-fitting. She's still blind. Don't worry, she's still blind. She will never see it coming. And that's all of that. So the very last thing I'm gonna show, and this was done by Insane Dark One, is how strong do you think Siam is? Do you think Siam is weaker than the fragments? What if I told you she's probably as strong as them, if not stronger? The thing about Siam is she's a pacifist, right? She's also very, very strong. She has access to a very rare breed of magic called rune arts. What that means is she can conjure up symbols, like runes, and depending on the order of the runes, or the way she does the runes, will enable her to do whatever she wants. So if she wanted to do like a fireball, she will do a rune for a fireball, and there's a fireball. If she wants to like conjure up something, she will do the runes for that. In a way, it's kind of like alchemy from Full Metal Alchemist, or like ninjutsu from Naruto. Similar concept. This also includes chanting the rune. So the reason why it's not a very popular form of magic is, if you're trying to fight someone and you're running around trying to chant something or do like the runes, and if you get interrupted, the entire sequence is broken and the rune fails. Or if you can't even, cast the rune, say the words, then it's not gonna work. Or it'll be even weaker. Now, Siam is one of the ones where she can use it by default, she doesn't really know how to. But, if she were to not have control of herself, i.e. she's like unconscious and someone else takes control of her, or she's like mind controlled or something, or, she just stops thinking or whatever. She's one of the few who does not need to chant anything. She can just throw stuff out one after another. This right here is an example of that, where she throws out lightning, fire, water, and ice all at the same exact time. And that's just elemental. That doesn't include, like, hey, I'm gonna throw a whole bunch of meteors at you, while also making the ground have earthquakes, while also just, distorting your vision. Like, she can do a lot of stuff. Again, she doesn't know how to do this by default. This requires her to not be able to, think, basically, or have control of herself. And even then, even if she was, like, mind-controlled or manipulated by someone else, if they don't know she can do this, they can't use it. Because it's kind of, like, hidden in her. So it's more of a, if she's unable to control herself, and her body is acting on its own kind of thing. So she's very powerful. She is very powerful. It's just that you never really get to see her full potential because she's a pacifist. And it requires her to not have control of herself. So that is all of that for today. So we talked about all the OCs from Ho-Ho Fantasy. And we talked about an OC from Fire Emblem Hack. At some point in the future, I would love to do something with them. What? I have no idea. Maybe I'll brainstorm that on a stream. And who knows? Maybe if this HoloLive project goes well, I might be able to get help with future projects. So that's all we're going to be doing today. I'll go over some of the original art next week. So I will catch you guys then, whenever that may be. Hope you all enjoyed this little talk about the OCs that I have. I will see you next week, whenever that may be.